All right, good evening and welcome to the City of Sunbury Council meeting. It's April 16th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Would you please join me in a moment of silent prayer and pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please.
Mayor St. John.
Here.
Mr.
Here.
Mr. Ayer. Here. Mr. Ghost.
Here.
Mr. Grumney.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
And Mrs. Cooper is absent. 6 present. We have quorum.
Thank you. We had a meeting on April 2nd, 2025, looking for a motion to approve the minutes. I'll motion. Got a motion and a second. We got a motion by Mr. Ghost and a second by Ms. Dreyer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Ghost.
Yes.
Mr. Ayer. Yes. Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
6 yeas, minutes passed.
The visitor section, this is a time where the public can interact and communicate with city council. If there's anybody that wishes to speak with city council tonight, it'll be limited to 3 minutes. If you wouldn't mind, please come up, state your name and your address. And if you're talking about a topic that is for discussion later on in the agenda, council may discuss it at that time. But I'm just saying, like, in layman's terms, there's not a lot of back and forth. So if you're asking questions and council looks stoic and just listening, that's normal. Okay. All right. Are there any members from the public that wish to speak? Come on up. State your name and address. We'll have 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Britton Scholl. I live at 151 Otis Street. I'd like to start off by saying, I don't think parking on Otis Street prohibits the traffic flow. And only doing on half the block when the whole other half the block's the same width and people park on there for football games all summer long and it does just fine. The person that's making all the complaints has a personal vendetta against me and nothing else has worked for him, as you guys all know. I just don't understand why he wants to make it a no parking all of a sudden. It doesn't prohibit vehicles or emergency vehicles because somebody parks there. And no, not the gist of it. Keep it short and sweet.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other members from the public? Hello, sir. Come on up. And we'll come back to Mr. Bennett after this. Hello.
Hi, my name is Sam Paul and I live at 152 Otis Street. I'm right across the street from Britton. I don't really like the idea that they're going to consider putting a no parking. Simply, it's that section. At the end of the day, there's really only 3 neighbors that are affected to say, don't park here. Because the other neighbors on corners, and it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. We choose to live here versus living in an area with an HOA, etc. As long as we're respectful and, you're parking on one side of the street, it's not going to inhibit anything like emergency responders or anything like that. I just don't think that it's, I don't want that, to live in this area, you guys asked for 1% of my income. I didn't even know that when I bought my house in Sunbury, which is fine. It's all good, but I want my voice to be heard. I do not want this.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak? Mr. Bennett?
Barry Bennett, 272 High Street.
Hello.
Soon. Just want to bring to council's attention, we've discussed this before, but maybe not with some direct observation. There is increasing heavy truck traffic coming up the Red Brick Road. And I know that's a no truck zone and we know how trucks tear that up. I just want to bring it to your attention that they are starting to ignore those signs there. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Force and prosecute immediately. Thank you. All right, any other members from the public that wish to speak? All right, thank you. One item, there is an item on the agenda related to the no parking on Otis Street. It is looking for it. Ordinance number 2025.16, just for the public. Based on previous run rate of council meetings, we'll probably get to that in about half an hour or so. And if there's any discussion, it may be discussed at that point. And then Mr. Bennett, we have your comments noted. Thank you very much. All right, we are on to committee reports. Ms. Dreher,
I have none.
Mr. Grumney.
I do. Thank you, Mayor. We had a finance committee meeting this evening at 6:30. It was a very efficient meeting, run by Ms. Steffen, Mr. Hennessy and Mr. Stockmaster, who, all presented and gave great information. We have a appropriation increase coming to the council, with regard to the general fund. But that amount will also help, to be offset by, income that has not been allocated as of yet. The service department, Mr. Stockmaster talked to us about needs for in a budgeted plow truck and some mowing equipment, which is coming under budget, which is very nice to see. And then we just had some discussion regarding our comparison reports year to date and bank to book reconciliation, and things are looking really good. And we had a chance to break early and go look at the new police vehicle cruiser that has been outfitted, and it's very nice. We'll do son very proud. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Grumney.
Yep. Thank you.
Mr. Capel.
Nothing here.
Mr. Martin.
First, I need to tell you, Chief Kovacs apologizes. He was supposed to be here tonight to do the year-end report from 2024, but he's not feeling well and didn't want to share his germs with all of us. So he's going to plan to come to the first meeting in May and do that report then. The other thing is the Public Records Commission held their meeting on April 8th. We meet twice a year, and our assignment, or whatever you want to call it, is to determine what records have been kept on file long enough that they can be destroyed and gotten rid of. And so there's a new document that's being required that tells the whole story of how long we're going to keep every piece of paper that we have, and now every video that we have. And Ms. Steffen and Ms. Hickson are working on that. They're looking at the documents from other communities that have already done this, and that we will end up having an ordinance related to it in the future to tell how long we have to keep documents on file. So that meeting happened, and we're scheduled again to meet in October.
Like a record retention schedule?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes, yeah.
So we didn't have one before?
We
Or
do have one,
Okay.
but there've been some changes to state law, so we have to address more specifically. A lot of it has to do with technology,
Yeah.
what people can do with video and other technology. And so we have to address those issues and see how we're going to proceed with it.
Thank you very much. Any other committee reports?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, we are on to the police report. Chief Howard.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first up, we got the cruisers. I have one here that it obviously wasn't completed and hadn't been delivered yet, but we finally got to see it today. They were taking it back with them tonight, finishing up some detailing on it and just making sure everything is perfect, and we get it back tomorrow afternoon to put in service. So we got the Tahoe back that we sent off for the engine repairs. That ended up being about a $3,300 fix. The other one we're holding off. We'll send that up maybe in a couple months when we get some of these other cars in. You got the schedule there for when the cruisers are scheduled to be delivered. That's just what we're hoping for. That's what we've all discussed, and hope we don't veer off too far from that. the punch list at the new PD. I met with Corey from Sutherland today. He's meeting with LaForce tomorrow for the doors that were missing on the mop closet. And he's meeting with Overhead Door next week to see why we haven't got our seals put on the garage doors yet. They're in the Sallyport. Last thing on the report is training. We're going to set up a time. There's no hurry on it. We just kind of need to get an idea of who would be interested in coming in and doing the CPR classes that we did a couple of years ago. I think those all expire into this year, beginning of next. So we would just want to get ahead of that, get a head count and see who's wanting to participate in that, and we'll get that set up. And then the last thing I want to share with you is some paperwork that I brought around. It did not make it to the report. I just got this printed out today, but it's a new software complaint form that we get a lot of calls. You know, somebody will call in, you know, there's cars speeding on North Street, or there's running stop signs on the square, and we really had no way to track that. So here's a sample of the first one, the first page where it says complaint number 4. That sheet right there will be entered into the computer system, and then that front page that you see goes to, that'll be handed out to patrol. They will fill out that activity worksheet as they go through and check that area. And if you can see on there, it says like if a citation was issued, verbal, written, whatever the case may be. The second page is actually a copy of the complaint where that came in as an email, which was then we're able to upload that into the same software. There's also a place on there where the radar sign information can be uploaded in there as well. So we'll be able to track all of that stuff now, as far as where the sign was, when it went up, how many cars were there, and how many violators that we seen. The very last page says complaint number 2 at the top. That's just a printout of what that looks like once it's been entered, or once it's been entered in by the shift sergeant. You can see that this one was done on day shift. It gives you different dates of when it was checked. And then off to the right, it'll tell you if there was a citation issued, how many out of the checks were issued, verbal warnings, written warnings, and the time spent in the area. I think that's going to be real helpful with this, or for us, I should say, to track some of these complaints. And that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions on that.
Any questions?
Any out of the ordinary or unusual or unique calls to report?
Not really anything that comes to mind that I could discuss. It's been I'll say it's just average. We haven't had anything like that really jumps out that says, you know, we need to make somebody aware of this or that. On wood, we're not having any issues with the car break-ins we were having, and people were really good about keeping their car doors locked. And it's just the guys being visible, taking care of some of that too.
No major upticks in crime or anything you can.
No, it's pretty much just I hate to say average, because what's really average, but we're very fortunate right now.
I'm seeing 2 things, and we can talk more in detail about this, related to golf carts. One, I'm seeing golf carts without tags,
Mhm.
and these are new vehicles, right? A lot of these are in like Rolling Hills, Price Ponds, a lot of golf carts. And then another thing, and this is a one-off, but saw a golf cart flying up a bike trail. I just think we need to do more on the messaging side of things. Like, here's what is required if you have, you know, a golf cart. I mean, they need to be street legal, and you have to have insurance. I mean, all the things. I think we maybe just need to get some messaging out about that.
Okay.
The other thing is, I got my first email about somebody that got pulled over in the city, and they thanked me for how well it was handled by Officer Collins in particular. So that's never happened before. Just wanted to mention that. You know, they admitted the wrongdoing, and wanted to thank you and your team for how courteous they were in the process of issuing a citation. Good work.
How about, speaking of that, how about the ratio between issuing the citations and versus a warning?
We're still about 75% warning rate.
Yeah, that's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
For a number of years.
Yeah, we try and stick around that range.
Thank you. Any other questions for Chief? All right, we're on to the administrator report. Mr. Hennessy.
All right, so just a couple of quick updates. You may have seen the signs out. Street sweeping services will be tomorrow and Friday. Unless it rains on Friday, but it's currently scheduled for tomorrow and Friday. So tomorrow's will be the area primarily east of State Route 3, and Fridays will be the area west of State Route 3. So just keep that in mind. I've also got in here a report. I think I'd mentioned to this group, but just want to let you know that that the service team working closely with the school district and the state have gotten agreement to move the school's zone signal over near Big Walnut Intermediate School. So, I mean, we're getting near the end of the school year, so we'll obviously time this up in a way that's most effective. So, but anyway, the approvals are in place. The plan has been set. It's just a matter of executing on that plan now. So that'll be coming soon. So this will basically move the sign off of Cheshire and onto, off of Cheshire and onto Weatherby Drive. Just two other things maybe to note as well. Perhaps you've seen Operation Apple Turnover on social media. So we do expect that the wood carver will be here, if not tomorrow, Friday, to remove Johnny from his current perch, take him back, do some preservation work on him, and then we'll determine the location in terms of where he gets placed. So just FYI on that. And then our spring foundations. So twice a year, we pour foundations for the cemetery to place monuments there. So the spring pour is coming up soon. So just for the group, as a result of that, I mean, a lot of times the headstones takes a little bit of time to get them in place. They're waiting for these pours to happen. So usually we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 or 20 at any given time. So we work closely with the contractors. Actually, we did help lower the price for residents last year, almost cut the cost in half with the contractor who does the foundation work. So happy to see that. So but anyway, so a little bit of activity going on in the cemetery here soon. Any questions for me?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. We're on to the engineer's report. Ms. Obrowski.
Good evening, council. Just a few updates for everyone. First of all, the wastewater treatment plant expansion. We've been talking about this project for a while. The pre-construction meeting with Simonson will be on Monday, April 28th in the morning. So at that meeting, we'll talk about at least a general schedule and talk about how the process is going for ordering some of the main components for our wastewater expansion. The Cheshire Road Lift Station, I wanted to mention one of the components that was brought to the table as far as trying to optimize the sanitary in that location. We had awarded a contract to Fee Corp to do some cleaning and televising of the Cheshire Ditch sanitary sewer line. That work started this week. It should be completed by the end of the week, although we did send out notices to the public for the residents along the north side of Cheshire Road impacted by the cleaning to let them know that this work would be occurring. So they're not surprised when they see people in their rear yards, that the work should be done by Friday. But if weather or anything else delays it, Monday and Tuesday, they may continue to do work there. And then a little different as part of my report, I believe on packet page 10, approximately, there should be pictures. Don't always include that. This is of the Walnut Street Stabilization Project. So $590,000 construction contract in order to stabilize the creek bed If you recall, one of the items that's going to come out of this will be opening up Walnut Street to Miguel, which is currently where it's closed. So these pictures show that very impressive nailing process. Those soil nails, the rebar arms are up to 20 feet long. So it's a pretty amazing operation that is occurring out in the field. Next steps will be to put the shortcrete or concrete into that location to stabilize. And then next week, I'll have a progress meeting with the contractor and we'll see and confirm if they are on schedule to hopefully have that portion of the road paved by the 4th of July. Any questions?
That would be nice to see by then.
I have a question. How do they put these in? Is it from street level or are they down in the creek?
Oh, yeah.
See page 9.
Yeah.
Page before.
That is impressive if you want to pass this around to the people.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is in the packet, which is available online. But yeah, that arm reaches over and you can see the extent of essentially that rebar arm sticking out and itself drills and propels into the side of the wall. It's great. They gave me some of the pictures from there. If they have video, I'm happy to try and get some additional information. And I did let them know that if for some reason they have some additional interesting construction going on, we can reach out to our chief of police and possibly get the drone out in that location to film some of this ourselves.
Fly the drone through that middle section there.
Otherwise, we'll be sitting in a boat taking pictures.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Odebrowski?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right, we're on to resolutions. Resolution, third reading, resolution number 2025.08. A resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation to participate in the cooperative purchase of road salt through the ODOT Winter Salt Purchase Program. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ghost. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Ghost,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Ayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Resolution 2025.09. This is a third reading, a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for services between Fishel, Downey, Albrecht, Rippenoff LLC and the city of Sunbury. Looking for a motion. Got a motion by Mr. Grumney,
Second.
second by Mr. Capel. Discussion.
Yes. We've used them, I guess, for a couple of years and they are out of New Albany, which is Licking County. Is there any reason we don't use someone local or in Delaware County?
Yes, they're the best.
It's a pretty specialized area of the law. And yes, the Ben Albright who does this work, had done work for several law enforcement agencies in the area, including Delaware County, came highly recommended. We've worked with him now, as I think was said, a couple of years. He's really fantastic at this. He's an expert. I don't know of anybody locally that does what he does.
We call him for employment law questions often, specifically related to police grievances, contract, interpretation. I think the really strong reason that I would recommend keeping them is they help draft the entire collective bargaining agreement, which this is the first kind of look at it. And Ben's excellent. Ben Albrecht is an excellent attorney.
And that's really, you put your finger right on it. To have somebody when you have questions of interpretation or enactment enforcement, he helped us do it. So it's not as though he's trying to learn what somebody else did. He did it with us, in concert with us. So it will be actually very sad when we don't have him available, because somebody else will have to learn exactly what we had, because they don't have the experience of sitting through the collective bargaining and have done. So yeah, definitely gets a recommendation on my end to continue.
He does several other police departments in Delaware County as well.
You get into these specialty areas and it's just not, You kind of have to go with the guys that are good at it. And sometimes there's only a handful, even in all of central Ohio, that do a specific type of specialty work. And this is just, one of those things.
Any other discussion? Roll call. Did we get a motion?
Yes.
Roll call.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Ghost,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
All right, no second or first readings. Resolutions were on the ordinances. Third reading, ordinance number 2025.12, an ordinance extending the existing employment agreement of Darrell P. Hennessy as city administrator for 1 year, authorizing the mayor to execute any required documents and declaring an emergency. I'll make the motion on the emergency.
Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capel. Discussion? Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Ghost,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Make a motion on ordinance 2025.12.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capel. Discussion? Thank you for being with us for 1 more year, Mr. Hennessy.
Well, I appreciate, I shouldn't say this before the vote, right? I should your confidence in me. But thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mayor
Yes.
Ghost,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
We're on to second readings. Ordinance number 2025.13, an ordinance establishing a penalty fee for payment from insufficient accounts. Just a reading. Another second reading, ordinance number 2025.14, an ordinance awarding the contract to, is it Ryder Company for construction relating to the Cheshire Road Lift Station project, declaring an emergency. Again, reading only, correct? Thank you. All right, next we're on to first readings, ordinance number 2025.15, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to issue a charitable solicitation permit pursuant to Sunbury Codified Ordinance 371.06, declaring an emergency. Mr. Hennessy, you want to give us just a quick overview?
Yeah, so this is the annual request, the Knights of Columbus and St. John Newman Church, that basically go out, collect funds for the Measure Up campaign. We do have a representative in the audience if you need to speak with them. It is for the dates of May 1st through the 3rd. The 2 locations that they will be collecting funds, Miller and State Route 3, and Miller and Cherry Street. So those have been the streets that they've solicited funds in the past from. So
Any questions? If not, we're looking for a suspension of the rules.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Ghost to suspend the rules. Second by Mr. Martin. Is that what you said? Sure. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We had a second by Mr. Martin. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Ghost,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Before we move on, I was going to ask a question related to this because we've had incidents in the past couple of years where we've given people the authority to stand out there and collect money. And one of the things I saw that made me kind of nervous was when there's a green light on Cherry Street, I've seen people standing just on the lane line between the 2 lanes, letting cars go by them on either side. And that's not acceptable. When the light changes and cars are moving, you need to be on the curb, not standing out in the middle of the road. That's been an issue a couple different times. And please have your gang pay attention to that.
I will bring that back to them, sir. I'm new to the Knights of Columbus. I just been with them for 9 months now. It's
Okay.
my first time doing the Measure Up campaign, but I will take that back to our grand night and I will inform the council.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
I think we're looking for a motion on the emergency by Mr. Ghost.
I'll make that motion.
Do we need to do anything? Sorry, we good? We got a motion by Mr. Ghost,
Second.
second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Ghost,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
I'll make that motion on the ordinance,
Did
twenty
we do
twenty.
suspension?
Yeah.
Yes.
Suspension, and there was discussion, that was the emergency, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out of line, but
Oh, no big deal, I just want to make sure we got all.
yeah.
You're all good. All right, I made the motion on ordinance 2025.15.
Also,
Wait to Mr. Ghost, please.
It's sunny out. We're not used to this. We've done it before. Okay, we've got a second discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Ghost,
yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
Yeas, motion passes.
All right, we have a first reading ordinance number 2025.16 and ordinance amending Sunbury Codified Ordinance 351.16 to prohibit parking along sections of Otis Street from Harrison Street to Sedgwick Avenue. I just wanted to, well, staff, do you want to go first? Because I have a few questions.
Yeah, so staff is recommending to prohibit parking from Harrison Street to Sedgwick. So it's two segments of the roadway there, not just one segment of the roadway. And the primary reasons are this, is that it's a primary access point to a park that we're trying to activate. We've invested money in the Reservoir Park. There are no sidewalks that enable people to get to and from. And so when there is a vehicle parked on the street, it does basically force people to go into the road. So we would, the reason we didn't recommend in the other direction is because from Harrison in the direction of J.R. Smith Park has mostly has sidewalks. There is a small segment that's missing. And I do think that's something we will want to talk about in the future in terms of an investment. But that's one of the primary reasons for recommending no parking on that portion of Otis Street. And the other reason is these are narrow traffic or narrow lanes. So these are 20-foot, it's 20-foot roadway. So 10-foot traffic lanes in each direction. That's basically the minimum that you can have. So when you have a vehicle out there, I mean, you're basically blocking half the street. When we looked at other areas of the city that have a park or that have a roadway that might be narrow like that, we've at least been able to identify a sidewalk to get somebody to the park. So this one has both of those components in it, and that's the reason that staff's recommending closing the street or no parking on the street.
Two questions.
Yep, sure.
So is this just on one side of the street or both
The
sides?
recommendation is for both sides of the street.
And then secondarily, what prompted this ordinance? What manifested the creation of the ordinance?
Well, we certainly did get a request from a resident to look into it. So that's one of the reasons that we had done that. I should add, we did ask the police department to go out and take a look at well, and they support the recommendation. But as I said, we also took this opportunity to look at all the other parks in the city as well to see if we need to be making an adjustment around those too. I will add, there are no sidewalks on the road to Freedom Park, but again, that's on State Route 61. That's not a city street. So, yeah.
And Chief Howard, is this something you've examined and?
We went down and looked at it. We were down there a couple different days. And what we noticed both days we were there was, I don't know where the family lived, but they were walking with a stroller. And they had to come out into the roadway pushing the kids to get past the vehicle that was parked there. I will also say that the vehicle that was parked there was not parked illegally, as the complaint comes in as. But it was more from our perspective, was like what Mr. Hennessy said, there's no sidewalks. And you have people with kids pushing strollers and whatnot. They're not walking up into the people's yards to come through. They're walking out in the middle of the roads. And I mean, we haven't had any incidents there, but when we open J.R. Smith Park and you start getting everybody from Middle Street and all that traffic coming down through there, it's going to get a lot of traffic in there. Yeah.
There will be an uptick of traffic once JR is open. So, yeah, I do see that.
How many complaints did we receive?
I think directly related to traffic, it would be just a single, parking would just be a single complaint.
And then
We did also check, I should have added, we did also check to make sure that every resident along that path does have off-street parking available to them. So nobody has a no parking.
How much-
They all have an option.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
From the pictures, it looks like maybe 1 or 2 cars are parking there, at least from the pictures we saw. Is that on the entire stretch? Didn't seem like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely went out there periodically to look at it. So we try to get some sort of random sense of vehicles that are parking out there. It's true. There are not a lot of vehicles out there, but there have been some.
And then, did the complainant know that this ordinance was coming forward?
Yes,
And they knew it was on their reading tonight,
yes.
and they chose not to come? Okay. All right.
Was everybody along that area on Otis Street notified?
So
Not
after,
the
so after the services committee discussion, I had asked our planning team to reach out, particularly to the resident who I know, Mr. Britton, who I know has used the street to park on. So we just wanted to make sure that he was aware that this request was there because.
I was only aware because I asked.
I'm sorry. Is there a discussion with council right now? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but bear with us.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, we want to make sure that the resident was aware that this was in front of council. So an opportunity for him to come and share his perspective on it. So. And others, so.
Just want to make sure I'm clear on the 2 reasons are because it's an ingress egress to one of our parks.
Mhm.
Okay, that's one.
To a park that we are investing in and trying to activate, the reservoir parks. Mhm.
And then,
And the second one, it'll be soon online as well. Nearby, yes.
yeah. And
Second reason is no sidewalks in that segment.
that's what I was thinking. Safety, no sidewalks. But if we, I mean, I just want to make sure the recommendation lines up with what we're trying to accomplish, which is free flow of traffic and pedestrian. I mean, the primary thing is you saw a stroller on the street. And somebody complained about that there are kids that are going to walk on the street, right? I think that's what the complaint said. But with no cars there and no parking allowed, people are still going to be walking on the street. And perhaps the traffic could be moving faster because they have more roadway to, it's the thing that we did in Sunbury Meadows, right? Like we brought the street in to calm the traffic, but aren't we doing the opposite here?
Yeah, I think it's important that anytime we make a recommendation for an improvement that we're picking the right one. And I do wonder, I'm not prescribing anything, but do we have a lack of sidewalk problem more than we have a parking problem?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like we're not, if we were saying no parking, and you're gonna convert some of it to sidewalk or something, I don't know what the right of way looks like over here. Then yeah, we've, maybe allowed pedestrian safe access. That would accomplish at least one of those goals.
Did you say there was an ordinance though? You can't take up more than X amount of feet of the street?
No, I was just saying they are narrow streets. I mean, in that they're 20 feet wide. So each travel lane is 10 feet. And I was just saying that when you park a vehicle on any one side, you mostly take up the travel lane.
And I tend to agree that the best solution would be adding the sidewalks, because if we're saying Reservoir Park is a park that people are going to be going to, and we have J.R. Smith Park. Again, I think to the mayor's point and maybe David's point, we don't want people, regardless of parking or not, walking in the street to get to where they're going. They should be safely walking on a sidewalk. So I think the city in long term needs to look at getting sidewalks in this area for truly trying to get people to Reservoir Park safely. I know that with the price too, so.
Based on that, would it be appropriate to table it for the time being, or is it?
It's just the first reading today.
Just wait.
We can let it go through the reading process.
Exactly.
At this point, I talked to some of the residents beforehand. I said, at a minimum, this is a 5-week process, right? Like every 2 weeks we meet.
Right.
This is scheduled on the agenda. Actually, April, we may not have a third meeting, so it may be a 6-week process. it could be longer if, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, the recommendation is not to approve, or there's some amended piece of legislation that we need to consider.
And understand, I'm not making a recommendation. I'm merely asking a question. Could we make it a one-way street? That way, everybody's going the same way. And if there's parking there, I don't know if that would solve anything. But having cars going both directions and somebody parked there is a little different than only allowing cars going one direction and having one side be a parking side. But that's not a recommendation, it's just a question.
Yeah. Good question. And, you know, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Not saying that that's where we'll
Thank you.
land, but we'll look into the benefits and the deficiencies of that one. Okay.
I want to thank the administration and police for, you know, first of all, I think it's just good if you get a complaint, there's got to be a closed loop. In this particular case, the recommendation is to close the loop. But we've also heard, you know, the other side of the story. And we have one complaint that's driven this, you know, proposed action, and we're listening to the other side. So thank you for
And two
coming.
people
and speaking.
against it, so it's tough.
Oh, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2025.17, a final ordinance consenting to participation with the Ohio Department of Transportation for enhancements to Sunbury Parkway Bridge, fencing and other entry features, and declaring an emergency. Starting to see, you want to give brief background, because this probably seems like deja vu.
It should feel like deja vu all over again. So ODOT has requested that a part of their process is you do a preliminary participatory legislation that basically says that you think you're going to participate in something that involves ODOT. We did that. It's in your packet. Earlier this year, basically was that the city said we're interested in participating in adding a sign and a fence, a vandal fence along Sunbury Parkway, the interchange portion of that. So as you may or may not know, ODOT is about ready to put out this contract to bid. And one of the final pieces they need from us is basically a final ordinance consenting to our participation. Having said that, basically it says no money up front at the moment. They will include it as part of the bid packet, get an alternate price. We'll have an opportunity to look at the price and decide if we want to proceed at that point. So it doesn't commit us to the expenditure at this point, but it does commit us to being in the bid packet for that purpose. So we do need action this evening in order to help stay on ODOT's schedule for the public release of their bid.
Okay.
Motion to suspend the rule.
Got a motion by Mr. Capel,
Second,
second by Mr. Ayer. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
Mr. Ayer?
yes,
Mayor St. John?
Yes.
Mr. Ghost?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Motion on the emergency?
A motion on the emergency, Mr. Capel. Second by Mr. Ayer. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
Mr. Ayer?
yes,
Mayor St. John?
Yes.
Mr. Ghost?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Motion on ordinance number 2025.17.
Motion by Mr. Capel, second by Mr. Ayer.
second,
Discussion, roll call.
Capel?
Yes.
Mr. Ayer?
yes,
Mayor St. John?
Yes.
Mr. Ghost?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
Got new and unfinished business, preliminary vision statement and core values. Mr. Hennessy.
Yeah, so the last item in the packet, on packet page 72, is a recap of the vision statement that was drafted at the retreat, along with the identified core values. What we've done to that is I did want to note that the retreat language is a bit modified. Anything that's in red is slightly different than what we walked out of the room with. So basically Sunbury will be a welcoming, connected community that embraces its uniqueness. This was a comment that Mr. Martin had made that I don't think got fully captured in the notes. So wanted to make sure we got that in there, and fosters prosperity. Together we'll be a safe and vibrant city that supports community or supports opportunity and community well-being. Just added the word community because, I mean, there can be lots of forms of well-being. There can be personal, there can be, mental, there could be a physical well-being. I mean, community just means all of it, right? Community well-being. So So those are the changes from the document that we drafted at that meeting. And then the proposed core values, those are the 5 that were identified. But with Ms. Graffmiller's assistance, what we did try to do is add some language around that. Just basically, what are the expectations of city employees as it relates to integrity, professionalism, service, stewardship, and transparency? So that language is all new to you. So I'm not asking for any action this evening. What we do want you to at least see it and bring it back in front of council at our next meeting. And if we're comfortable at that point, act upon it, and then we can just start to implement this. So.
Any comments? All right, April 30th meeting, as you got a preview.
I think we can.
I'll make a motion to cancel it.
Motion, yeah, second.
By Mr. Grumney.
Be my anniversary date.
Good deal. Discussion, roll call.
Tom?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Ayers?
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
6 yeas, motion passes.
We'll be back in 3 weeks, first week of May. We're on to new and unfinished business. Ms. Dreyer.
I do actually, because I really think, I'm really glad there's people here. No, really, it's great that you come in here and.
It's not, thanks for coming.
I agree.
That's what this is all about. But I think it's important that you all get to see this stuff. Is this online?
I can get something.
Did we do a Facebook post for it too? Because that is really interesting.
Yeah, and this is your issue. And maybe too, for people that are watching online, maybe it could be put on the screen so that everybody could see this stuff, because it's cool.
Yeah, they're just staring at us, though.
Yeah, right, you can.
Yeah, those thousands of people.
We had 8 views last week. Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Dreyer. Mr. Grumney? Mr. Capel?
Nothing here.
Mr. Martin?
Just gonna tell y'all, it's not because I'm mad at you, but I won't be here for the first meeting in May. I'll be in New Mexico making music, so.
For you. Yeah, sounds amazing. You guys?
Be here, sir.
And I want to say also, Mr. Martin, I know you were at the Wizards game earlier today, right?
Yeah.
Doing all the preparation.
Yeah.
I think we need an ordinance that the Wizards game cannot be on council night.
Well, typically it's not, and it was scheduled for a Tuesday. And then the Wizards had double scheduled, so they changed it to a Wednesday. We've always tried to avoid Wednesday nights for them, but they changed their schedule because they had double booked.
Well, if we put an ordinance in, they won't
Then
be
we
able to.
can't do it. That's a good point. We'll let them know in New York City.
Plus, I'm taking this personally. 2 or 3 years ago, I was on the team.
Right?
You were the referee.
I think that's what I'm saying. Just follow this progression. I hit the game winner. And the next year, I think I played, but not very much. Next year, I was just the referee. And then the next year.
No show.
Being on.
Maybe they did that deliberately.
What's up? I think so.
Motion to adjourn.
I mentioned to adjourn, Mr. Joe, second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion, roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.